Our headlines for tonight. The House panel cites the investigation over the Dolomite Beach project.
Tens of thousands have been evacuated, one reported dead as Typhoon Tino batters Visayas and Mindanao.
The Bureau of Customs set to auction off 7 luxury cars from the Discayas family.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board will conduct a nationwide public consultations over fare hike petitions.
And the Supreme Court issues status quo order on Tarlac City Mayor Susan Yap's petition. Good evening, bringing you the latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN.
And I am KRIZZA Lopez. This is Eurotv News Thread. The details on our broadcast. The House Committee on Public Accounts is set to open an inquiry on November 17 into the necessity and impact of the controversial 400 million pesos Manila Bay Dolomite Beach project.
This triggers a political clash between supporters and critics of former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, who initiated the program. Mia Layagin has more.
On the third Monday of the month, November 17, the House Committee on Public Accounts will open its inquiry regarding the Manila Bay Dolomite Beach project. House Panel Chairperson Bicol Saro Party List Representative Terry Ridon noted that this inquiry aims to investigate the necessity of the project to address the Manila Bay Sustainability and Rehabilitation Plan. During the investigation, the committee eyes to discuss whether the Dolomite Beach project has impacted the flooding incidents in nearby areas in Manila. The Dolomite Beach project started on August 2020 under the Manila Bay Rehabilitation Program with almost 400 million pesos in funding. Amid the then pandemic, the Dolomite Beach was first opened in September 2020 but was closed again for expansion. On October 2022, the project was declared finished and completed. While the looming inquiry does not directly attack anyone, Ridon received backlash mostly from supporters of then-President Rodrigo Duterte. Amid the criticisms, Ridon clarified that the inquiry is not an attack against the former president, rather directed towards the then Department of Environment and Natural Resources that proposed the Dolomite Beach project. Some minority lawmakers have expressed support to the inquiry, with ACT Teachers Party List Representative Antonio Tino emphasizing that this is a way to investigate whether there was a fund misuse or corruption, with Duterte being one of those who should have accountability over the matter. Tino's statement sparked criticism from Congressman Paulo Pulong Duterte, who condemned the attack and politicking against his father, who he noted as the only leader that addressed the Manila Bay issue. Congressman Pulong emphasized that perpetrators should be held liable, even FPRRD himself, if he is really at fault at the issue. He, however, argued that the public's attention should not be pulled away from the bigger corruption scandal, jabbing President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s alleged anomalous national budget. On the other hand, Malacanang Palace reiterated separation of powers among branches of the government, saying that the President has no say on the House's investigation. With this, Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro dared those who that will accuse Marcos of instigating the inquiry to prove their allegations.
Patunay muna nila na ang Pangulo ang behind dito sa Dolomite Beach probe. Kasi kung wala at nag-speculate lang tayo na sasabihin nila na ang Pangulo ang behind dito, hindi naman po yun makatwiran. At unfair naman po yan sa Pangulo.
She also dismissed the criticisms that the inquiry is just a ploy and a political tactic against the former president.
Dapat hindi na ito paimbestigahan dahil otherwise it will be considered as politicizing. Parang hindi naman po yata tama yan. Ibig sabihin po nun, kapag hindi naginalaw o inalam ang nangyari noong nakaraang administrasyon, parang libre na po lahat ang kanilang ginawa. So tama naman po ito. Pero muli, ang sabi ng Pangulo at ang administrasyong ito, hindi po sila makikialam kung ano po ang ginagawa ng mga mambabatas natin sa kanilang
This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
Senate Deputy Majority Leader JV Ejercito filed the Eman Atienza Bill, or the Anti-Online Hate and Harassment Act, which aims to strengthen protection for vulnerable sectors against cyberbullying, defamation, and fake news by imposing stricter penalties. Vanessa Cleovas reports.
Senate Deputy Majority Leader J.V. Ejercito is now pushing the Anti-Online Hate and Harassment Act, also called the Eman Atienza Bill, which aims to strengthen the protection of vulnerable sectors, including the youth, against the worsening spread of cyberbullying, defamation, and fake news online. Under the proposed measure, anyone found to be involved in spreading any type of false information online that affects a person's mental and emotional health, social reputation, and self-esteem, potentially causing serious and severe depression and anxiety, will be punished. The bill covers all forms of online hate, harassment, and cyber libel using any type of digital information and communications technology or ICT platforms or device. The law, as described in the Eman Bill, considers unlawful the expression of hatred, violence, and threats against any individual or group. It also prohibits discrimination based on health status, age, disability, political beliefs, religion, culture, economic status, gender, or sexual orientation. The proposed measure also mandates digital platforms to monitor, remove, and report cases of online abuse posted online. It also provides for the establishment of a victim support and protection program, which will offer psychosocial support and legal assistance to victims. This program will be led by the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, Department of Health, or DOH, and Department of Justice, or DOJ. These agencies will also oversee the handling of offenders under the law. Those proven to have violated the law will face imprisonment in addition to fines ranging from 50,000 pesos to 100,000 pesos for the first offense. For a second offense, violator may face imprisonment and fines ranging from 100,000 pesos to 200,000 pesos. Minors under the age of 18 are not subject to these penalties. Instead, they will undergo counseling and guidance on responsible digital use and other corrective measures. Senator J.V. Ejercito named the proposed bill after the well-known social media personality Eman Atienza, who recently passed away after being a victim of online hate. The senator personally informed Eman's family, Kuya Kim Atienza, and his wife Felicia about the Eman Atienza bill during a visit to Eman's wake, where he presented the measure. The proposed law also served as support to Republic Act No. 10175, or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. According to the studies by the Department of Information and Communication Technology, or DICT, online libel, including defamatory posts and public shaming on social media, ranked among the top 5 cyber-related complaints nationwide in 2024. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
The Department of Migrant Workers has deployed a new batch of seasonal agricultural workers to South Korea as the agency finalizes permanent guidelines to curb illegal recruitment and ensures the protection of over 53,000 Filipino workers in the country. More from this report.
This is not the first time that Maricel, Mati, and Helen will be deployed to South Korea as agricultural workers. Maricel and Helen have been working in South Korea for a long time, and both of them have been sent back to Korea for 4 times. Their main reason is the salary compensation, which is more higher than in the Philippines.
4 times na po. Then gusto po namin magtrabaho sa South Korea kasi malaki po yung sahod. And then marami po din kaming natutunan about sa farming.
Kunyari po sir, meron po mga nagkakasakit, mas na-assist po nila kami, mas natutulungan po nila kami, mas may nalalapitan po kami.
They're still working for the same employer in Gochang, South Korea as strawberry pickers, and their monthly salary is more than 60,000 pesos.
Compare po dito po talaga sa Pilipinas, mas malaki po talaga ang sahod po doon. And then mas maganda, and then the weather po sir, although napakalamig po, mas na-enjoy din po namin mag-work doon.
Meron na po akong 200 square meter na lupa.
Kasi sa ibang bansa, umabot ng 2 years, 3 years. Ito po kasi 5 months. Nakakapili mo kagad yung family mo. And then, pag maganda po yung performance mo at nagustuhan ka ng amo mo, makakabalik ka.
They're among the new batch of OFWs who will be sent to South Korea seasonal workers. The beneficiaries of the said seasonal worker agreement are from the local government of Pura Tarlac through the LGU to LGU deployment. However, the selection of the OFWs to be deployed must come from the Department of Migrant Workers or DMW. The DMW also finalizes crafting permanent guidelines for the deployment of seasonal agricultural workers to South Korea due to issues with the legal recruitments and labor issues. There are reportedly 4 illegal recruitment hubs the DMW has filed charges against.
We have interim guidelines. We've had this for 1 and maybe 7 months already. Kung naalala nyo, early 2024, we had the interim guidelines. And now the time has come with the signing of this JMC ay magkakaroon na ng permanent guidelines.
For illegal recruitment of Filipinos who applied for seasonal work in Korea, the government has also sent about 11,000 seasonal workers to South Korea.
Broker na sinampahan ng kaso sa criminal courts natin.
Sec, ano po yung sanction na pwedeng maibigay sa kanila?
Yeah, ang sanction nito is up to life imprisonment kasi yung mga brokers na sinampahan ng kaso, yung 4 na yun ay lagpas sa 3 yung mga biniktima nila eh. Tinagaan ng pera eh. Kaya sa batas natin, pag more than 3 ang victims, life in...
The government has continued to ensure the safety of OFWs, particularly the estimated 53,000 OFWs based in South Korea.
Us in the Department of Foreign Affairs think that this is an excellent model of how the whole of government can cooperate, coordinate in order to ensure the safety, the deployment of Filipinos in a safe, legal, orderly manner.
May this joint agreement bring lasting prosperity to both our nations and deepen the bond between the peoples of the Philippines and the Republic of the Korea.
This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
Due to the onslaught of Typhoon Tino on Visayas and Mindanao, more than 77,000 people evacuated to over 300 evacuation centers. 1 person reportedly died due to the Typhoon Tino, according to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC. Here's the details.
At least 77 residents have been evacuated and 1 person has been reportedly dead following the onslaught of Typhoon Tino across the Visayas and Mindanao, according to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC. Office of the Civil Defense OCD spokesperson Junie Castillo confirmed that the National Interagency Coordinating Cell has been activated to oversee disaster response operations.
Atin naman po sa loob ng evacuation center, meron tayong naalagaan ngayon ng mga kababayan natin na nandoon sa evacuation center. This is composed of 362 evacuation centers kung saan ang atin pong camp coordination and camp management. May napabalita po doon na nasawi, no? Natumbahan po ng isang punong kahoy. Again, this is for validation, no? And then we still have to validate other reports also coming from other.
The evacuees came from Mimaropa, Region 5, Region 6, Region 7, Region 8, and the Caraga region. Castillo also said preparations are underway for a developing tropical depression that could enter the Philippine area of responsibility in the coming days.
Opo, sa direktiba nga po ng ating Pangulo, no, kay SND, sa ating NDRMC Chairperson, no, kay Attorney Gilberto Chodoro, at sa NIACC, ay tuloy-tuloy po yung paghahanda na gagawin, gagawin na itong way of life na, kasama na ay hindi lang doon sa LGUs, kundi pati doon sa ating mga komunidad. Kaya tuloy-tuloy po, kaya yung mga food and non-food items, tuloy-tuloy ang pagre-replenish.
Several local government units have been planning of declaring a state of calamity due to the widespread flooding and damage caused by Typhoon Tino.
Ang magdedeklara po nito ay ang ating mga local government units. So tinitingnan natin itong mga munisipyo, no, Eastern Visayas and also mga probinsya na magdeklara rin po nitong state of calamity. Once they do that, ang nakapagdeklara through their local sanggunian, so yun po ang makukuha natin mga datos, and that will be also forwarded to the regional and to the national for augmentation na nakasaad.
Castillo urged the public, especially those in coastal areas, to remain alert and to heed local government advisories during severe weather events. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
The Department of Trade and Industry has imposed a price freeze order on areas affected by Typhoon Tino. Graciela Corazon tells us more.
The Department of Trade and Industry or DTI has assured that the prices and supply of basic commodities remain stable in the entire Western Visayas region due to the Typhoon Tino. Meanwhile, DTI field offices are closely monitoring Aklan, Capiz, Guimaras, Iloilo, and Negros Occidental to maintain fair trade practices and proper consumer services in supermarkets, grocery stores, and retail stores. The DTI reminded the public to avoid panic buying or buying more than they need to practice responsible shopping to maintain market stability and cause shortage in supply and unnecessary pressure in the market, especially during times of emergency. Meanwhile, the implementation of the price freeze on all basic necessities in the province of Davao de Oro remained following the declaration of the state of calamity caused by the consecutives magnitude 7.6 and 6.8 earthquakes that will last until December 23, 2025. Due to the wastewater discharge at the URC ethanol facility on October 24, 2025, which caused contamination of coastal water and degradation of the coastal marine ecosystem in North Baez Bay, the DTI also declared a price freeze in the city of Baez Negros Oriental. The price freeze will be implemented until December 29, 2025, unless it is extended earlier by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. This is Graciela Corazon for Eurotv News.
Meanwhile, 7 confiscated luxury cars belonging to government contractor Diskaya are set to be open for auction by the Bureau of Customs or BOC, including a Rolls-Royce Cullinan that Sara Diskaya allegedly purchased for a free umbrella. More from this report.
The Bureau of Customs or BOC is set to auction 7 confiscated luxury vehicles owned by the Diskaya family on November 17, according to Palace Press Officer and Under Secretary Attorney Claire Castro. This move is part of the Marcos administration's initiative to return to the public the wealth allegedly corrupt by the Diskayas through questionable government contracts.
Ibalik ang pera sa taong bayan. 7 mamahaling sasakyan na nakumpiska sa mga Diskaya up for auction. Bilang bahagi sa mga hakbang ng administrasyon ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. na maibalik sa taong bayan ang perang nakulimbat sa mga maanumalyang flood control projects.
According to the BOC's announcement, the vehicles up for auction include a Toyota Tundra 2022, Toyota Sequoia 2023, Rolls-Royce Cullinan 2023 reportedly purchased for a free umbrella, Mercedes-Benz AMG G63 SUV 2022, Mercedes-Benz G500 2019, Lincoln Navigator L 2021, and a Bentley Bentayga 2022. A public viewing of the seized luxury vehicles will be held from November 10 to 12 at the PUC parking area, Ocom grounds, while the auction proper will take place at the Ocom building, BOC Port Area, Manila. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board is set to conduct nationwide public consultations starting November 10, aiming to gather input from commuters and stakeholders before making a decision. Mia Layagin returns.
To further study the possible implications of the fare hike petitions on public utility vehicles, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB is set to conduct public consultations nationwide to discuss the matter. LTFRB Chairperson Attorney Vigor Mendoza II said that these public consultations is aimed at seeking the point of view of the masses as commuters in regards to the petition to increase fare amongst public transportations. Mendoza sympathized with the transportation sector's request for a fare increase given the impact of the consecutive fuel hike on their income. He noted that LTFRB have had received several petitions from PUV operators, mostly from buses, jeepneys, and taxis, seeking a fare increase. He, however, emphasized that before coming up with a decision, all sides to be affected by the proposed fare hike should be consulted. With this, LTFRB has issued a board resolution ordering the implementation of public consultations amongst all concerned sector. On November 10, a public consultation is already set at the Quezon City LTFRB Central Office. Mendoza further ordered the regional directors to submit by November 14 the results of the public consultations. By November 17, LTFRBI's submission of the results and the recommendation over the fare hike petition before the Secretary of the Department of Transportation or DOTR. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
The Land Transportation Office immediately issued a 90-day license suspension and a show cause order against the driver of a Toyota Hilux who was caught on dash cam footage ramming and running over a motorcycle rider and his back rider into Gigaro City last Sunday. More from Henry Nicolas.
The Land Transportation Officer LTO immediately ordered a 90-day suspension of the license of the driver of a Toyota Hilux pickup that rammed a motorcycle rider and his back rider. The incident occurred on the National Highway of Buntun Bridge into Gigaro City, Cagayan last Sunday, November 2, 2025. Dashcam footage captured that motorcycle back rider being run over before the driver was run over again. According to the mother of the victims, her children were immediately rushed to the hospital where one is currently confined and being observed at the Cagayan Valley Medical Center due to abdominal internal hemorrhage. Meanwhile, her other child has already been discharged from the said hospital and is recuperating. At home. Concurrent with the 90-day preventive suspension imposed on the driver's license, the LTO also issued a show cause order against the registered owner of the Toyota Hilux pickup, directing them to attend the hearing and explain why they should not face a case for reckless driving and why the driver's license should not be permanently cancelled for being an improper person to operate a motor vehicle. The LTO will consider the failure of the driver and the vehicle owner to attend the scheduled hearing and submit a sworn explanation as a waiver of the right to be heard. The case will be decided based on the evidence held by the agency. This is Henry Nicolas for Eurotv News.
The House Progressive Bloc filed a resolution seeking an investigation into continued shortage of classrooms in the country. The Makabayan Bloc highlighted the administration's poor performance in addressing the issue. Catherine Landicho has more.
The Makabayan Bloc has filed a House resolution seeking an investigation into the persistent shortage of classrooms across the country, a problem that, according to the group, has continued since the Duterte administration and remains unresolved under the current Marcos administration. According to the Makabayan Bloc, the government has shown poor performance in meeting its target for classroom construction, noting that the actual number of classroom built falls from below expectations and the needs of the education sector. Through the proposed House resolution, the group aims to push for increased funding for education, particularly to address the classroom shortage and improve the quality of school facilities. The Bloc emphasized that this move is crucial amid the ongoing education crisis and the deteriorating state of learning infrastructure in the Philippines. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
The provincial government of Negros Oriental created a wastewater spill response task force to address the extensive damage caused by the recent leak of more than 200,000 cubic meters of molasses into Bais Bay from a distillery plant. More details from Vanessa Cleofas.
The provincial government of Negros Oriental has of wastewater spill response task force that will focus on immediate action following the recent leak of 255,000 cubic meters of molasses or ethanol wastewater into Bais Bay after the containment pond of a distillery plant collapsed last October 26. According to the provincial government, the spill has already caused extensive damage, spreading across coastal areas, barangay, marine environments, and communities in Bais City, the municipality of Manhuyod, and nearby areas. The marine life within the Tanyons Shade Protected Area has also been affected. Under the executive order issued by the province, the newly formed task force will conduct a fact-finding investigations efforts, monitor affected areas, identify remaining issues related to the ethanol leak, and coordinate with local government units or LGUs as well as provincial and national agencies in crafting and recovery plan. At present, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DENR and the provincial government of Negros Oriental continue to extend assistance to local residents and livelihoods severely affected by the wastewater spill. Currently, the city of Bais and the municipality of Manhuyod are under a state of calamity due to the damage caused by the molasses spill from the said plant. In a statement, the DENR said that the Universal Robina Corporation or URC, which operates the plant, may face a 500,000 pesos daily fine due to the impact of the spill on the livelihood of nearby communities. According to URC, repairs are already underway on the collapsed section of the lagoon at the Bais Distillery, which was reportedly damaged by recent earthquakes and continuous heavy rains. Meanwhile, the provincial government has earlier issued an order temporarily banning fishing activities along the coast of Bais and Manhuyod due to possible health risk from consuming contaminated marine products. This is Vanessa Cleofas for Eurotv News.
The Department of Interior and Local Government officially recognized Katrina Teresa or Katie Angeles as the legitimate mayor of Tarlac City. Shai Morales has the report.
The Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, has officially recognized Katrina Teresa, or Katie Angeles, as the legitimate mayor of Tarlac City, following the final and executory decision of the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC-NBank, disqualifying former Mayor Susan Yap. Based on the COMELEC-NBank resolution promulgated on October 22 and made final on October 30, the decision is immediately executory after 5 days without a temporary restraining order, or TRO, from the Supreme Court. However, former Mayor Susan Yap attended the flag ceremony yesterday, November 3, and maintained that she remains the mayor of Tarlac City until a writ of execution is formally presented against her. Yap said she will step down once due process is completed.
Taon ng writ of execution na at sinabi ng COMELEC o DILG, i-implementa mo na. Ako mismo, sa tamang panahon at sa tamang proseso, ay bababa.
Meanwhile, Mayor Katie Angeles responded in a press conference on November 3, calling on former Mayor Yap to respect the rule of law.
Sabi ko lang, ang magiging personal appeal ko po sa kanya is sana po marunong siyang sumunod sana sa batas. Sana po respetuhin niya kung ano ang nakasaad sa batas natin. Mas bata ako sa kanya pero mas nakakaintindi pa ako sa batas. Bakit ganun? Kung sino pa ang mas nakakabata, siya pa ba ang umiintindi palagi? Wow! No one is above the law. Ignorance of law excuses no one. So sana po, ang apela ko lang, sana po sumunod at rumispeto sa batas at ipagdadasal ko na lang din po siya sa Panginoon.
According to the DILG memorandum released today, the agency confirmed that a vacancy exists in the office of the mayor of Tarlac City, automatically elevating former Vice Mayor Katie Angeles as city mayor, in accordance with Section 44 of the Local Government Code of 1991. The DILG assured that it will continue to monitor the smooth transition of leadership and the uninterrupted delivery of public service in Tarlac City. This is Shai Morales reporting for Eurotv News.
Related to this, the Supreme Court has issued a status quo order temporarily restraining Tarlac City Mayor Susan Yap Sulit and halting her disqualification by COMELEC-NBank pending the final resolution of the residency case against her. Catherine Landicho has the report.
The Supreme Court has issued a status quo ante order in connection with a petition filed by Tarlac City Mayor Susan Yap Sulit questioning the Commission on Elections or COMELEC-NBank's decision disqualifying her from the 2025 elections. The status quo anti-order aims to maintain the situation between the parties as it was prior to the issuance of the COMELEC and bank resolutions, pending the final resolutions of the case. The High Court also directed the respondents to submit their comments on the petitions within 10 days. Earlier, Amado de Leon and J.R. Capulong Navarro filed a petition seeking an absolute disqualification from running in the 2025 elections, arguing that she was not a resident of Tarlac City for at least 1 year prior to the elections. The COMELEC 2nd Division initially dismissed the petition, allowing Yap Sulit to run and eventually be proclaimed as mayor of Tarlac City. However, in a resolution dated October 22, 2025, the COMELEC and bank reversed the 2nd Division's ruling and disqualified Yap Sulit. It may be recalled that following the COMELEC's decision, the Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG directed Vice Mayor Katie Angeles to assume the post as the new mayor of Tarlac City in accordance with the succession rule. This is Catherine Lanticho for Eurotv News.
Typhoon Tino's final landfall in Iloilo City this afternoon. It continues to weaken as it traverses the western Philippine waters. As of 5 o'clock this afternoon, Typhoon Tino was last spotted in Patnongan, Antique, maintaining maximum sustained winds of 130 km per hour and gustiness of up to 180 km per hour. Several areas remain under signal number 4, specifically Cuyo Island and Calamian, the central and southern portion of Antique, Iloilo, and Guimaras. Signal number 3 is raised over mainland Palawan, the rest of Antique, and the northern portion of Negros Oriental. And signal number 2 is in effect over the southwestern portion of Masbate, Oriental Mindoro, and Occidental Mindoro, Romblon, and northern portion of Palawan. Cebu, including Bantayan Islands, is also under signal number 2. Based on Pag-asa's forecast, the typhoon is expected to fully exit the Philippine area of responsibility this coming Thursday. Meanwhile, aside from the winds brought by Typhoon Tino, gusty winds and rainfall will be felt in some areas of Luzon due to the Amihan or northeast monsoon and the shear line. Pag-asa also advises residents in coastal areas to heed the advice of local government units and specifically those in Palawan due to the threat of storm surge. A gale warning remains hoisted over coastal areas, thus sea travel for all maritime vessels is prohibited.
A powerful magnitude 6.3 earthquake struck northern Afghanistan overnight near Mazar-e Sharif, killing at least 20 people and injuring over 600 others. Son Santiago with the report.
A magnitude 6.3 earthquake jolts in northern Afghanistan on Monday. This strong earthquake struck overnight that killed at least 20 people and injured more than 600 others, according to Afghanistan National Disaster Management Authority. Meanwhile, the U.S. Geological Survey says the quake hit 28 kilometers deep with the epicenter near the city of Mazar-e Sharif, shaking infrastructures and cutting power lines across several provinces. The quake also damaged the country's 15th century historic and holiest blue mosque. On the other hand, the United Nations Organization and Indian government have deployed rescue teams and sent medical and relief supplies respectively. This latest natural disaster adds to the growing challenges faced by the country against drought, poverty, and mass deportations, among others. Last August, the country was also hit by a 6.0 magnitude earthquake that killed more than 2,000 people. This is Son Santiago for Eurotv News.
One Piece fans must be excited as Season 2 of the famous anime is coming on Netflix. Sam Martos tells us more.
This second season of one of Netflix hit series One Piece, titled One Piece Into the Grand Line, will soon be available for streaming. On Netflix official's YouTube account, they shared an inside look video for the upcoming second season of One Piece.
Challenge, but I like challenges.
as we head into the Grand Line, the world of One Piece keeps getting bigger.
The video shows some of the exciting scenes that fans can look forward to in Season 2, as well as appearances from some of the cast members, including Inuyaki Godoy as Luffy, Japanese actor Makenyu, Emily Rudd as Nami, and Jacob Romero as Usopp. It will be remembered that the first season of One Piece was last aired on August 31, 2023. Meanwhile, Season 2 of One Piece Into the Grand Line will be available to watch on March 10, 2026. This is Sam Bartos for Eurotv Showbiz News.
And that's latest news for tonight. You may visit eurotvph.com for more news and information. Once again, I am KRIZZA Lopez.
You can also catch our live broadcast through our social media accounts and via an Extreme channel. I'm ALVIN PELOBELLO. Thanks for joining us. This is Eurotv News Thread. Stay safe and have a good night, everyone.